So, if you follow my blog, you probably know that I have a dog, and her name is Sadie. She's the cutest little thing you've probably ever seen in your life. Maybe not that, but still. And I guess I wanted to make a video on why I'm so enamored by Sadie. So I always hated dogs as a kid. They always made me uneasy. They were unpredictable because when I was very young, I must have been 6 or 7, I was riding my bike and the neighbor's dog started chasing me. It was a mutt, and it was not a nice dog. I'm pretty sure it had a baby. It had like a little puppy. It bit the other neighbor. So I was not into dogs at all, and I did not like dogs all up until I was probably 16 or 17, when my mom finally caved and bought my older brother a dog. Now, my older brother moved out, and so my family was kind of like feeling a little weird that we didn't have a dog at home. I was away at college, and so it was just my mom and my little brother who were at home, and the house felt very empty without a dog. And so they decided to look for dogs. So my mom was like all over, looking at shelters in the area, blah, blah, blah. She'd pick out dogs, show them to my little brother, and he would just be like, no, no, no. He kept denying and not denying, and I told my mom, I was like, maybe he just doesn't want a dog. But, so my mom goes on this website called Pet Finder, and she finds this little adorable lab spaniel mix. And she shows it to my little brother, and he says, yes, that is the one. And that's how we found Sadie. So my mom and my brother drove up and picked her up in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It's like a 3-hour drive. We drove there, and they brought her back, and they just fell in love with her. I was still away at school, so I didn't get to see her until a month after she'd been with my family already. But the day that I met her, I remember I just fell in love with her. She's like the cutest thing that I'd ever seen. I always loved labs, and I'd always wanted a golden retriever or a lab. My old neighbor had one. They named it Sandy, and I was like, that is the coolest dog ever. So it was like amazing that we have a lab now. I was so happy. And just in awe of her, because when I met her, she was a little bit worse for wear. She had 2 pretty big patches on her thighs, the inside and outside, kind of like the crease of her thighs, that were brown and bumpy and had no hair. The doctors said it was due to a yeast infection that was actually in her ears, and that it was that bad because it was left untreated for so long. So when I say it was left untreated for so long, Sadie was actually found as a stray down in the Carolinas. And then she was sent up to New Jersey with a foster family for 6 weeks until they found a home for her, which was us. And it was very close that we wouldn't have actually been able to have Sadie. We were like the first inquiry, and then after that there were like 5 more inquiries, and so we were very close to not even having her. But yeah, so she had these 2 really big brown patches with no hair. She had streaks of bareness on her legs because she would bite off her hair, as well as on her feet. And on her hind legs, she would also bite the hair off, so it was very stripy. Her stomach had almost no hair on it. It was basically bare skin, so you could see her little nipples, which basically, her having nipples kind of leads us to believe that she did have puppies at one point. So they're little baby Sadies running out there somewhere, but we'll never know. I wish I could give everybody a Sadie puppy. But, so she also was very sensitive about her ears. Now, the thing about Sadie is she's part spaniel. So part of her ear is clipped, and she also does not have a tail. Whomever had her in the beginning, when she was a puppy, clipped her tail, which is very, I just can't even describe how horrible that is. Just looking at Sadie, and just, she's such a wonderful dog with such high spirits, and the fact that somebody thought that was okay to do because, you know, spaniels are hunting dogs, and that's just what they do. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely disgusting. But she was very sensitive about her ears, so you couldn't really touch her ears. If you touched her ears, she would growl at you. So you just kind of had to stay away from her ears. But as time went on, we got more comfortable with her. She actually, you know, is fine now with the ear thing. She's got no problems with that at all. But she had these horrible skin problems, like I mentioned, and my mom had to bathe her every other day with special medicated shampoo, where she has to rub it all on Sadie and then leave it on there for 10 minutes and then wash it off. Sadie, she was a trooper. She just stood in the tub just like this. And I would pet her head. And I would be like, it's okay. It's okay. But she was also on anti-itch medication and a lot of antibiotics when I first saw her, to get rid of the yeast infections, the ear infections, basically just anything that was in her system. And then to help her stop itching, because she was itching all over the place. My mom told me in the beginning that she had to wrap her up in a t-shirt because Sadie would just rub her body on the carpet so hard. So now we actually have little doggy blankets that we have all around the house for her because she likes to roll around, and so she doesn't hurt herself. But it took probably a good 3 months before she was able to stop itching, at least furiously, altogether. It took a while. I felt really bad because it was like every time we saw her itching, you had to yell at her to stop because she would just keep itching and itching and itching and itching, and then she's going to have her skin's going to get irritated and red and bloody, and that was not something that you want for her, you know. But so she was just in really, really bad shape. But here we are. I guess it's what, got her in March. It's about 5 months later. March, April, May, June, July. Yeah, about 5 months later, here we are, and Sadie has made a remarkable recovery. She has almost all of her hair back on her feet, her legs, those nasty brown, you know, areas on her thighs are essentially gone, and almost all the hair has filled in. Her stomach, there's all hair there. You can't even see her nipples anymore. And all of the hair on her body has actually gotten darker, because when they actually found her, she didn't have a lot of hair at all, like in general. But now her hair is a lot darker, much like a lab's, and a lot coarser, thicker. So we don't have to worry too much about her scratching herself anymore because there's a lot more layering there. But she's also gained a lot of weight. Like, I have to take her on runs now because she actually, like, eats so much. She'll just keep eating. If you keep giving her food, she will keep eating it. But it's the funniest thing. And, you know, well, she's allergic to a lot of stuff, so we actually have to give her grain-free food, grain-free treats. She can't eat essentially any human food. It's just not good for her digestive system. It doesn't do well. We put salmon oil and coconut oil on her food, which actually helps with her skin. So if you ever have problems with a dog who's itching too much, buy food that is grain-free. Buy food that is fishy. So if they have salmon, get salmon. Don't get beef or chicken. Get salmon. And then grain-free treats are always good. And salmon oil or coconut oil on their meals, on their little meals, do wonders to their skin. Salmon oil and coconut oil proven good for their skin. But yeah, I mean, Sadie's just this, I'm just in awe by her, by all that she has kind of come through and has gone through. She's just like this amazing little nugget, just kind of just rolling through life. I mean, she took her so long to learn how to bark. I can't even tell you. She still doesn't really bark. She kind of growls. She's like, oh, oh. It's not a full bark. She likes to go exploring in our backyard, and it doesn't matter what's in her way. She will crawl through a bush if she has to. It's amazing how she hasn't had any ticks this season because there's so many back there. She's just this. She's just a little love nugget. All she wants is attention and love, and if she doesn't have it, she'll come up to you and start crying, and she's just amazing. She's just amazing, and I'm just, like I said, in awe. So basically, I'm going to conclude with please, 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 please adopt shelter animals. Don't go through breeders. I mean, there are so many pets out there who are just absolute gems and who will be perfect for your family. So many just waiting to be adopted. So please, 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 please adopt sheltered animals. And you too could have a Sadie of your own. Thanks for watching.